I will admit, before I give you my take on that it is jaded, it is subjective, it is through the lens of someone in the city of Toronto that happened to be in the building for Game 5 and Game 7 of the Maple Leafs Panthers series. The fact that it finished 6-1 has a bad vibe for me. Like, that's not just some ordinary coincidental number. If you will recall, and if you will indulge, Game 5, 6-1 ass-kicking, Florida over the Leafs. Game 7, 6-1 ass-kicking, Florida over the Leafs.
They like to beat the pants off you 6-1.
That's what, like, I'll tell you, Edmonton was just as bad as the Leafs were in Game 5 and Game 7 last night. I thought McDavid and Draisaitl, that's as bad as they can play. I remember going on SportsCenter saying Matthews and Marner, that's as bad as they can play. I thought the two of them were horrible last night.
Okay,
like, I didn't even notice them last night.
Does that put you in a position where there's a common denominator here and the Florida Panthers? Does that mean that's what they – no? Okay.
Well, no, you can't sit there as a Leaf fan today and go, you know what, well, that's a –
that's not what I'm saying.
The Oilers.
No. And that's not what I'm saying. And the Oilers deserve the benefit of the doubt. They'll get back into it. I have no doubt they'll respond. Right. I'm not convinced they'll win Game 4. And I'm no longer convinced they're going to win the series. I'm not convinced of that. I will say I have changed my tune on that, and that's because of Florida.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, this Panthers team, man, like, they are so good. And Paul Maurice said it before this series. He's been coaching in the league for 30 years, and he said, with all due respect to all of my other teams, this is the best one. This is the best team. And they just find a way to snatch souls, man. They snatched them in Tampa and Toronto and Carolina, and they did it to Edmonton last night. Now they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they dominated in every facet. And you know what? Like, that was the one time the Oilers looked not like a veteran team. Like, the Panthers got underneath their skin, and then they unraveled. And that's to me, veteran teams are the ones that agitate, not retaliate. And Florida did that. And I mean, it starts a minute in. Honest to God, you're. And
it's Marchand,
I don't know,
of course.
Marchand, but he's on a heater, man.
He's
the guy's
unreal
been
right now.
unbelievable. Him and Bennett are just putting a clinic on. But the one thing I would say is Edmonton to a man stunk. It wasn't like, okay, the goalie was no good and maybe three defensemen.
Right.
There wasn't one guy on that team that had a decent game. I mean, Corey Perry scores a goal, great. But outside of that, like, I thought Florida just dominated right from the start to the finish, and it was idiotic play from, bad penalties in the offensive zone. It was, poor decisions with the puck. Couldn't get a save. Couldn't get
all
going.
Trash.
It was just
Trash.
everything.
And by the way, Hayes,
terrible.
You mentioned Paul Maurice. Unbelievable seed planting. And if you can't sniff out that seed planting, like, to say that of all the teams, that's just letting the Oilers know that we're even better than last year. That's the only reason do you think he wants to pump his team's tires? That was trying to just toss out a little nugget to the Oilers. You thought we were good last year. We're even better this year. And I love this one. He said, I would imagine the next game would be more like game 1 and 2. Oh, really? You don't think that you're going to go in there tomorrow night or Thursday night and beat the hell out of them again and try to clog things up? That was the biggest joke of a comment I've ever heard.
Well,
I think the next game's going to be more like game. No, it isn't, Paul.
I'll trump it because this, again, I get it. I'm from Toronto, and I'm coming through a lens of the Maple Leafs. Do you remember what he said the day after that Game 5 debacle?
It was close. He said it was close.
Oh, I thought the Leafs played actually really well. The score, like, this guy is playing the same game, only it's against the Oilers. Now, again, the Oilers deserve the benefit of the doubt because of the two guys in particular. I love McDavid's comments after the game. They didn't sugarcoat anything, and he's like, we haven't had our best, but it's coming. Yeah. And I like that. I like that attitude and that approach. And you've got to have that attitude and that approach. And those two in particular, but also other guys like Perry. Nugent Hopkins is banged up now. You wonder what you're going to get. Hyman's not coming through that door. Like, these are all stories now that you kind of worry about a little bit moving forward. But the Oilers, they have resolve. They show up. They did it last year. They were down 0-3, and they stormed back into Game 7. They're not going to quit. They'll respond. They'll be better. But will it be enough? That's the question.
That's the biggest challenge.
Will it be enough?
I think you come back and it's easy to go one goalie outplay the other, and that's the truth. I mean, I thought Bobrovsky was really good early on, and then, the Oilers had nothing the rest of the game pretty much. But Bobrovsky was dialed in, and, you need an extra save when your team is out to lunch. You need an extra play, a quality. And McDavid and Draisaitl, they were awful last night. They've only been held pointless in 3 out of 19 games. So
Crazy.
you could probably expect Game 4 they'll be better. But Florida's going to be better too. I think the challenge is how do you adjust? Do you have the resolve to come back and make this a 2-2 series? And, Edmonton should be afforded that opportunity.
You think it's must-win noodles? Must-win Game 4 for the Oilers?
Damn near. I mean, it's damn near. Yeah,
man.
Like 3-1. That means you got to win 3 in a row. I don't see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see either one of these teams winning 3 in a row or
right.
Or 4 in a row type of thing. You're going to have give and take. I think you look at it, and it's almost a tape burner. Like it was that bad.
Chris Knobloch, who's pretty calm dude. Jamie, I bet you he was just steaming because the two things a coach hates, well, there's 2 or 3 of them: undisciplined, disorganized, and just like not being ready to play. And all 3 of those things happen in one period and all throughout the game, and that would drive a coach nuts. But the thing about it is, guys, it's not a game in February. Go back to McDavid's comments here last year, like behind the scenes on Amazon. This is the finals, and you just wiped your rear end with one and handed it to them. Like you can't do it.
Yeah, you gave him a freebie.
You gave him a freebie, man.
Final.
That was Game 4 in Edmonton. What was that? 8-1?
Yeah, that
8-2?
was.
It
was on the other foot.
Like
yeah.
it was just it was completely out to lunch. And you know what? You can't even blame it on reffing or anything like that.
No, they're trying to play the game, and that's natural.
Yeah.
And listen, I thought obviously Edmonton unraveled. I don't even have that big of an issue with it because you are pissed. You just threw away a cup final game. You're angry.
Yeah.
You go try to find someone and get after someone, right?
Yeah.
Like you might as well. You might as well cross-check, break your stick over somebody. We say that all the time. If you're going to take a penalty, you might as well really do it. And Frederick tried to. He did. Yeah. Perry was in the middle of it. Kane was trying. They got Kane out of there. I thought it was a corny 2 and a 10, but
2 and 10 for that.
It was ridiculous.
Well, they didn't want because they knew
he was
the next
looking
play.
for one.
The next play, he was going to do something stupid. And
yeah,
I don't know how you didn't
coming.
sit his ass on the bench. Like I guess you can because he's such a good player, but after the first 2 penalties, you got to be looking at him like, "Are you serious, man? I can't trust you. Put you back on the ice." Yelling at the refs and running around like an idiot. He was an idiot last night.
And to be honest, too. I almost thought the third penalty, the too many men, was his fault, but I think it was McDavid that turned back. Because they had 7 guys on the ice.
Right. It was a no-doubter to call it.
No, it
wasn't the refs. I mean, you don't lose 6-1 because of the refs. You don't lose 6-1 because of one individual player. They've done that. Florida's done that a lot in this playoff run. Like, they are very comfortable. You give them a lead, and they're going to keep pushing, and they're going to push your buttons. Yeah. And they're waiting for you to unravel. And I would say Thursday absolutely is a must-win for the Oilers. You've waited 12 months to get back here. And I'm not sure that would have been anything they thought of before walking in that building, but I did find that interesting that the last time you were there in a big game was Game 7 of the Cup Final, and you had that type of heartbreak, and you battled to get back, and you waited to get back, and you make it back, and that's how you perform. Like your first game back in that building, the last time you were really in it, I know they went through there in January or whatever it was.
Right.
But the last time you were there, or second last time, was the most heartbreaking experience of your life. And you get back in that building and you're just flat. And
they just had nothing.
They had nothing, yet at the same time, again, and the reason I bring the Game 5 and 7 with the Leafs up is because the other team has got to get credit.
Yes.
Like
100%.
The other team pushed them out of the game. Like the Leafs didn't go down with a fight. They didn't go out like the Oilers did, but the Oilers got pushed out. Like Florida just basically said, "We're not losing this game. We're winning this game, and we're going to embarrass you. And what are you going to do about it?"
Right.
And to see that in a Cup final is pretty staggering.